Greetings, people of the internet. This is Scott with Serkworks back once again. This is my series on how I'm building my Comic-Con booth using EPS or Styrofoam. EPS foam or Styrofoam, same thing. I cut the last video a little short. It was running long, so I think I'm going to break the hard coating into two parts. The first part being the mixing and everything. Second part being the actual coating. So anyway, so this is sort of part 2 of part 3. That gets confusing. So however, you'll find out how I number it when I guess when I load it online. Okay, so my hard coating's been sitting for about 3 days. But I want to talk to you first a little bit about some brushes. So the main thing you want to do is you want to get some disposable brushes, because once these brushes come in contact with the hard coating, after it dries, I mean, they're done for. You can't. It's almost impossible to wash the stuff out. So anyway, so these are inexpensive disposable brushes. This is like a foam brush. The benefits of this particular brush is that it doesn't leave brush strokes, which usually isn't a problem with this product. It may be a problem with painting, but the fact that this product levels itself out, you don't really have to worry about brush strokes. This is a little more heavy duty. It's still a relatively inexpensive brush. The only drawback really with this one is that sometimes the bristles will come out and they'll get in and they'll get attached to the coating and everything. Oops, sorry about that. So anyway, these are the two brushes, and I'm going to experiment with these and see kind of which one works best. The other thing is, let me kind of show you what the hard coating actually looks like when it's finished and cured and everything. You can hear that. It's pretty durable. This is about probably 3 or 4 coats of hard coating. The more you put on it, the more it's going to withstand to whatever beating it's going to take. You know, this 3 or 4 coats is pretty good. I mean, if you take a hammer to it or something like that, that's a different story. But for the most part, it's gonna resist any kind of wear and tear that the public's gonna have. With mine, I think I'm gonna do 1 or 2 coats because it's gonna be away from the public, in back of me, and I will be a little more careful with it, just to save on money and time, because I don't want to put too much time into this, because I want it to look good, but I don't want to, time is money, and the more time I take building this stuff, then the more that takes away from any potential profit I might make at a comic convention. So that's something to keep in mind. Let's see, I don't know if you can see the thickness of that. Anyway, so that's the hard coating when it's finished. Also, I wanted to point out that I just stuck some toothpicks in here, which is always a good idea, because what that does, it's going to raise it off of whatever surface you're working on, and because it will drip, and if this was just flat on here, the hard coating is going to stick to the surface, and it's not going to come off. So real easy, inexpensive thing to prop this up. Toothpicks works great. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to get my rubber gloves on, or my latex gloves on. I'm going to get into the hard coating, and we'll show you how to apply it. Okay, I have fast forwarded just a little bit. I ran into some problems with me not being in camera, and also some ambient noises like planes and motorcycles driving by. So anyway, we fast forwarded, and now I'm showing you I have already coated a bunch of these pieces, and then I ran out of the mixture, the hard coating, so I still have these pieces here that I need to coat. So I've mixed up some more, and I'm going to kind of pick up from where I left off before. Let me set this on the tripod here. Hopefully this time I will be in the camera. Okay, so here I have another piece. This is my logo, or part of my logo. This is I guess the icon of the trademark. And I'm going to coat this. A couple things that I found out after leaving this set for like 2.5 days. It got pretty thick, but it's still leveled out. It's still, what happens is once you start applying it, it looked kind of clumpy, but eventually it will just kind of find its way around the form of whatever foam object you're coating. So it ended up working pretty well, but it was kind of hard to apply because it was so thick. So this time I mixed it up, and I've only waited like a day and a half. it's still a little thick. The other thing I mentioned before about these brushes here, I ended up switching to this kind of brush because this brush, I got a few 2 or 3 strokes in and it just started falling apart because it was so thick that it was kind of hard to apply. Now, since this is only a couple days, it might work with this, but I'm just going to stick to this. It worked pretty well. I didn't have any problems, like I mentioned before, with bristles getting in it. Or you don't have to really worry about brush strokes with this because, like I said, it all levels itself out. What was I going to say? There was something else. Oh yeah, and when I talk about days and things, I forgot to mention that it kind of depends on where you're at, how hot it is or whatever. I'm in Arizona, it's pretty hot, so and it's springtime right now, so we're anywhere from like 80, 90 degree weather, so if you're in a cooler place, it'll take longer for it to set and everything, or hotter if it's hotter. So anyway, let me get back to coating this. Now this isn't quite as thick as before, which should be a little easier to apply. Yeah, I'll make sure I'm in the camera this time. Yeah, okay. And you just kind of brush the stuff on. But it seems like this remix here is a little better time frame. So if your temperature's around 80s, 90s, then, you know, about a day, day and a half, let it sit, and then start applying. Yeah, this is a lot easier to work with, and it's still thick enough that it's not totally dripping off. And it's pretty forgiving. I mean, you don't have to worry too much about it being thicker in areas because it'll all find its way to where it needs to go. Let me hold this down. That's the problem I was having before, not being in the camera. It's very difficult because I don't have a cameraman to follow me around. But anyway, you just kind of keep doing this, just painting it on kind of like a paintbrush. And my biggest concern right now, because this is the last of the product that I have, is that I have enough to finish all the pieces that I need to. On the pipe pieces that I showed you just now before that were laying on the ground, those I'm just going to do one coat because they're kind of going to be in the background where not a lot of people are touching them. This one will be in the background too, but there's another logo similar to this, but it has a gear in it and behind it, and it's a little larger. That's going to be up front, so I'm going to have to give that a number of coats. Just really depends how much contact it's going to have with people. So, but yeah, this definitely is working better than before. Thick enough, but not too thick. And then this is a little problem area here. I'm just going to kind of brush it in there. That'll all work itself out. So I'm probably going to, this is just more of the same, just brushing it on. Let it sit for about at least 24 hours. And then if you need another coat, you can do another coat. I think you might be able to get away with like, I don't know, maybe like 10 hours before applying a second coat. But, before it's fully dry and you start, to handle it too much, you want at least 24 hours. And it'll keep setting. I mean, it'll just, it'll get harder and harder as time goes on. So, I don't know when it's totally fully cured where it won't, but usually after 48 hours, you're good to, start applying your paint and stuff, which is what I'll do next. So yeah, so you can kind of see that's about it. Now this will start dripping down here. When it's thicker like this, you can see all these little things here. That's just going to drip. It's kind of unavoidable. The thicker it is, the less it'll do that, but the thicker it is, also the harder it is to apply. So, 6 of one, half a dozen of the other. These, when they do drip down, you can just sand them down and everything, but we'll cover some of that in the next episode when I start priming, painting, and so that's about it. So I am Scott. with Serkworks. You can follow me, Serkworks, on the internet, Serkworks. I'm on Facebook, I'm on Twitter, Instagram, a bunch of other social networks, some more or less, some more than others. But yeah, look me up, the YouTube channel, and I'll post some of the links to some of these products and everything that I'm using, so you can find them online. So take it easy. That is all.